Hello, everyone. It is Wednesday, January the 6th, and um, today is the HEX conference that Maddie Ellen will be hosting this evening, in which I have the privilege of speaking on during the second hour. So I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully, you can all join in and see everything that everybody has to contribute. For now, I want to talk about a little something that I've hinted to a couple of times now. And when I was younger, one of my favorite movies was called Crazy People, and it starred a man named Dudley Moore, and also co-starred a girl named Daryl Hannah. And Dudley worked for an advertising agency, and he came up with this idea of telling the truth in advertising as a way to sell products. And his supervisor had him committed to a psych ward for coming up with such a ridiculous idea. And while he was there, that's where he meets the other actress, Daryl Hannah, and they work with the other inmates to go forward with this whole truth in advertising campaign. And the movie itself actually got yanked from the theaters like right after it was released because it had drawn such controversy from the fact that it deals with real corporations like AT&T, Jaguar, and Sony Electronics. So basically the movie was stereotyping and ridiculing the customers of these different companies. But the movie was very telling. And while I was visiting with my mother one of the times during this recent trip, she always has a TV on in the background, and I caught a few seconds of an advertisement for a online dating service, and this advertisement had this girl sitting on a park bench next to this being that was a caricature of the devil. And when I saw that, I just had to laugh because it reminded me of that movie. It's like sometimes we just can't help but show our true colors. So the reason for bringing all this up is there's this figure of speech that isn't really used anymore, but I'd heard a lot growing up, and it's this excuse that the devil made me do it as a means of justifying one's actions. And that statement just isn't true. Yes, there are those who can make adversarial suggestions, but it's up to us as to whether we are going to agree with those suggestions and act on them. And if we do, then it's us that is doing it, not someone else that is making us do it. So, in HEX, there is a phrase that we use. It's probably used in pretty much all markets, referring to people who find value in something and can't be enticed or intimidated into relinquishing it. We call that having strong hands. And while I was on my trip, before the meetup on Saturday there in Idaho, I actually went and visited a church in the morning because I had a few hours available before the meetup. So I actually went to church. And, you know, this is not meant to try and proselytize anybody, but the people in the first century, the people who actually knew the people who knew Jesus, were probably the most strong-handed people in the history of the world, because they had something that they could not be made to let go of, even in the face of being subjected to the most agonizing and humiliating forms of death imaginable. And this particular church that I visited on Saturday has this belief that before all is said and done, that Christianity will once again be in this position of unshakable resolve. And the problem is people don't really want to be in that position like they think that they do. Because the people in the first century, what they had was a system of life that was superior to the system of life that the Roman government was securing for its people. And this contrast was viewed as a threat by the dignitaries of the Roman government, and that's why these people were subjected to the persecution that they were. And of course, eventually over time, the people on the periphery saw that, you know, these believers could not be shaken, and that created interest that eventually resulted in the Roman Empire absorbing what they thought was the kingdom of God, and you put those things together and you have what is called the Roman Catholic Church. And but as history has testified, that union of religion and state did not deliver what it thought it would. And that's why there has since been a Protestant Reformation and the different religious movements that have sprung out of that. But yes, those people back in the first century, they had a knowledge of themselves and a knowledge of a system of life that was incomparable to anything else this world had to offer. And the problem with Christianity today is they think they have that, but they really don't want to have that, because of the cost, the personal cost that is involved with being free. You know, freedom is not a feeling. It's a quality of life where you know that nobody else has any authorization over you. And you know that because of who you are in relationship to who God is. And the fact is, everything has been arranged for people to be free if they will only be free. But people by nature would rather be in control of other people. And that is in consequence of agreeing with adversarial sentiments. It's a cause and effect relationship. And unfortunately, institutionalized religion today is mostly about control. It's not about freedom, even though, they use the language. It's not what they're actually delivering. And like I said, it doesn't have to be that way, but things are the way they are because the people who administrate these things, that's what they want. So, fortunately, those of us who know what freedom is and are not going to be denied the quality of that existence are just going to have that regardless. And, Hex is just another tool to help create freedom. And that's really probably the primary thing that drives me as far as my involvement in Hex. It's because I love freedom, because I know what it is. And that's another reason why I'm involved in the Libertarian Party, because the Libertarian Party is about removing government intrusion in the lives of people. The more people desire to control other people, the bigger government gets to help facilitate that desire. So really what it comes down to is people just need to be honest with themselves about what they really want in life and stop pretending to want something else to try and uphold the facade that you're a good person. Because, it's not about being bad or good, it's about being genuine. And because you're going to reap what you sow regardless of what flag you wave or what front you put up to try and impress others. So this is something that's actually been on me for most of my life. It's just from time to time I've had opportunity and an incentive to verbalize it and share it with others. So that's basically all I'm going to share for now. I don't want to get too much into what I want to talk about at the conference this evening, so I'll save it for that. But anyway, I hope you all have a good day, and I'm going to be a little busy the next 2 days, so I'm not sure if I'm going to make a video, but we'll see. Until then, enjoy life. Talk to you soon.